Dear friends, let me get down to business here and tell you that I think we have what appears to be some good news here. Let me see if I can explain this. Let me see if I can put this into perspective. And we'll do the best that we can to see if I can do the trick, okay? Number one, these are the rules. 90% of what is being said, 90, 80, 90, on any particular forum that you hear is complete and total gibberish. Now, it's okay. I'm glad to see that people are talking about it. I'm glad to see these newfangled people enjoying positions as stars. Good for you. I'm going to say this. I am genuinely pleased in seeing that. Let me change this. This is called How Trump Wins in 2024. I just did something very, very important just now. And I literally, and by the way, please use that term carefully. I literally just did a piece on my private channel where I go into a little bit more detail about what's going on because, and I don't mean to equate you in this, and I don't mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but understand when you do YouTube, don't go, unless you're Lex Friedman, don't go too deep into something. Do not go into specifics about delegates and just waste your time. That's number one. Number two, there is nothing more passionate and nothing more, I guess, as dangerous as somebody who fancies themselves as I guess a newfangled political, I'm going to use terms that just for the hell of it, right winger, okay? Right winger. I'm putting this brand new. Rule number one, Lionel's rule. Listen, elections. That's it. Everything else is a waste of time. Rallies don't matter. Rallies mean nothing. Websites, I don't know what you want to call it. It doesn't matter. You could say, wasn't Trump great? Wasn't he? Did you see him on Truth Social? Who cares? Who cares? What are you talking about? It's about elections. Well, I never really got into the election thing. Well, that apparently is a big problem here. And this is a thing which I can't explain enough. This is so critical for me, Ryan, to tell you something. Unless he wins the election, this is a waste of time. Okay, hang on a minute. This is as I speak. Great piece from the LA Times today. And like I said, I just right before we went on, did this. And this is good news, right? For the LA Times. Today we're going to change this to How Trump Wins in 2024. Okay? And I'm not saying it just because, wouldn't that be great? No, I mean this. And for the first time, I'm thinking, wait a minute. They're saying and they're telling us that he may be a lot smarter than we thought. He might be a lot smarter than we ever thought. He may have more people secretly behind the goings on than you would ever imagine. Do you hear what I'm saying? There is something, it is so diabolical how these people work. You have no idea how these people work. There's nobody that is more Machiavellian than these folks. What Trump is doing apparently is he has realized, and somebody apparently in his group has realized, that the only way you're ever going to win is if you work the delegates and if you work the actual machinations of the nomination proceeding in Minnesota next month or next year. What he has been doing very carefully is he has been, and this is so critical, he has been using, let me give you an idea. Okay. Let me give you an idea of this. He has been understanding that the notion of delegates and changing the rules in each state are critical. He did this at the White House. He's been doing this at Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago is a very important place. He has helped in fundraising. Somebody somewhere, I don't know who it is. I don't know the name. Somebody knows how this works. And somebody is actually doing this the right way. He's doing a lot of favors for people. What you hear in the news has nothing to do with reality. Let me say this again. Let me see if I can say this. How this works has nothing to do with reality. When you're in the back rooms, when you're at the highest level of all of the folks running the show, they do not care about issues like abortion, gay, military. That has nothing to do with anything. Let me go back again. When people involve themselves in crime, what is crime about? Money. Crime is always about making money. Crime is making money. There were people in the mob who were probably the most ardent. The mob, the mafia, nobody calls it that, but the mob has always been very, very conservative in terms of actual values. But they've always loved Democrats because Democrats are the most corruptible. There were people who were involved in some really bad pornographic rings who would basically take someone out. If they found out somebody hurt a kid, they would take them out. Yet they themselves were involved in the distribution of pornography that involved children. Why? Because it's about money. Money trumps everything. Money says, oh, okay, I got it. You understand it? I understand it. I got it. Money does everything. So just so that you understand something, take all of these, I hear stuff. I go, nope. Oh, that means something. Nope. Up, that means something. It's like when you look at a lab results, when you go to your doctor, there's a physical. Don't worry about this. This is something. Now, this is important. This is either the spike or the drop or whatever. That's critical. The other day we heard a conversation. A friend of mine with the doctor said, hey, Joe, you lost weight. Yeah. He goes, did you lose it fast? He says, no. He said, okay, good. I thought, wait a minute, what was that? He goes, if you lose it fast, it's not good. It's not Ozempic. See what I'm saying? We have to, here at Lionel Nation, we have to make sure that we understand the way the rules are. Forget this other nonsense about abortion and immigration. That's okay. That's interesting. That's a waste of time. I heard today I'm trying to sample stuff. Ted Cruz has been talking about immigration forever with Martha McCallum. It's nonsense. They don't want, believe me, razor wire. Do you see what razor wire did? Razor wire can stop everything. This is not about immigration. I don't care about that. What's happening is this. Step number one, Trump is doing this. Step number two, the LA Times and other people are telling you. They're reporting this. People like Ben Ginsberg and others are telling everybody. They're telling you this is how smart Trump is. Why? Somebody at his team, he's helping with delegates. He's trying to change the rules. He wants the nomination. If he doesn't, and this is so important, if he doesn't cinch the nomination, this is a waste of time. Don't forget the RNC 2024 Building a Party President nominee. This is, and by the way, do me a favor. Please stop with people who are betting, the books, they have these bookie services. Please don't do this. Don't waste your time with that. It's in Milwaukee. It's in Milwaukee. It's in Milwaukee in July. In July. Okay, so good. So that's important to me. So almost 10, so it's 2. So we got just 9 months. This is important. This is so important. Let me go back to what I said because you're missing this. He's got to get the nomination. 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 Number one. Number two, what's going on in the back rooms, you don't know. What I mean the back room, not the back room, not Tammany Hall, not that kind of stuff, not Boss Tweed with a cigar, but going on in the back rooms. This is important. This is critical. Next, do you know how to read the news? Do you know how to read? Not read Twitter, not read threads, not read about Jack Probiotic puts a tweet up, somebody wanted to kill him from Ukraine. Okay, yeah. We know that. That's like, what is this? It's not the news. It doesn't interest me. It's stupid. I don't get this. Or this one. Michelle Obama, they're going to run Michelle. They're not going to run Michelle Obama. Who's saying this? You know who's doing that? Michelle Obama's doing that. Michelle Obama's people is doing that because Michelle Obama's an egomaniac and she wants to be Oprah. She's not going to run. Obama's Barack. He's not running anything. It doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. Number three, why is there all of this dissension? Why is Kathy Hochul? Why is Eric Adams in New York? Why are they screaming bloody murder about what's happening? Why all of a sudden? You got to ask these questions. Sit down. Why is the Biden administration turning their back on them? Why? Why are they deliberately setting these people up? Ask yourself, why is this happening? Next point. Just because you're able to come up with an answer doesn't mean anything. Have you ever been to a mental hospital? It's one of the moments that is I remember when I was in college, it was life-changing. It was a lockdown, but it was a psych ward, day room. I mean, it was just, I never really saw this before. And at the end of the day, it's the staffings that I loved. And they would talk about these people and they said, okay, I know they're crazy, but let's talk about what it is. First of all, can we predict what they're going to do? Sometimes. There's a certain method to their madness, no pun intended, and we can predict a little bit about what they're doing, but it's hard to say, and it's very, very dangerous for us to do it because we really don't know. We really don't know. We're not sure about how this. I'm not sure. This is dangerous stuff with these people. But the bottom line is, even within the level of insanity that people have seen, there's certain rules that they follow, even though they're crazy. And the thing about this is that in politics today, especially when you have a media collective that is part and parcel, it is the official propaganda unit of the deep state and shadow government. They're letting information out. Why is that? Why is that happening? Why would this be coming? Why? They always want you, they always tell you what they're doing. Always. And there's something about this, and I don't know if I'm being too deep about this, but I got to tell you the story. There are some people who love to be a part of, they love to speak in terms of symbology. Okay? And I know you love this. Some people love it more than others. Since the beginning of time, man has always spoken in symbols, in theoretical symbolism. We've had rituals and rites, and we have hearts, and we genuflect, and we wear certain colors to mean certain things, and we've always believed in religion and gods and a lot of stuff. And there's always a symbol of something. There's certain things they do. And they always love to tantalize. They always love to tell you, this is what's going on. This is what we know is going on. Little background. I remember talking to people during the election, and this was really tough for me to hear, but I remember during 2020, there were people I know who were Wall Streeters, institutional funding people, and everybody. Oh, that, and we have a real good insider in Washington. This is the best, because Washington's another world itself. Who said, "Oh yeah, it's Biden, it's Biden." And at the time, I remember saying, "This is ridiculous." Oh no, it's Biden, it's Biden. Now they didn't like that. They didn't like Biden, but they're saying this, and they have to. They're into money and prediction. They don't care. In Washington, it's brutal because it's the power structure. I don't care if it's right or wrong. I'm going to just vote whatever. These people have nothing to do with politics. They don't care about borders, abortion, gender, fentanyl, crime, schools, the decaying superstructure of nothing. Be different than the rest of these jadruls you see on TV. They're into stuff that has. When I see somebody with a MAGA flag and a flag and wearing a, let me explain something to you. And please don't take this the wrong way. One of the ways you can tell about a people when you size somebody up is if you see somebody wearing a MAGA hat, they're an idiot. Please don't take this the wrong way. Let me explain. I have in my collection, I have more MAGA hats in every style. Make America Great Again. Make America. What was the other one? MAGA, and what was the other one? Make America Great, Make America Better, or there were two. The second one he didn't like. Make America Great Again with MAGA. And then there was another one he didn't make. Anyway, I kept. When you see somebody wearing that, what does this tell you? Clueless. Clueless. You can also tell somebody who has reverence for the flag and somebody who wears the flag. These are people who don't know what's going on. They believe in right and wrong. They believe in good versus evil. I told you, different things in my life told me what's going on. Mental hospitals, trying to predict crazy people. There's a certain rule they have, but you got to remember this, they're crazy. That's one. Number two, professional wrestling, the work, theater. You got to understand something. The heel, the baby face, the potato, the kayfabe, the shoot. That's life. Next, in every organization, you have groups of people who run different aspects. Let's take a Broadway play. Broadway play, you have the ticket takers. You got the union. You got the people who own the theater. You got the concessionaires. You got the ushers. You've got the actors. You got the understudies. You got the union. You got Union Local 1. You got the Teamsters who put things in and out. Then you have the producers of the play. Then you have the money people behind them. Then you have the theater guild. Then you have all kinds of layers. And then there's you. And you're just watching this guy on the stage. But behind him are different levels that are so critical. Some not more important than others, but critical. Unless you have a concessionaire, unless you have an usher, unless you have somebody to open the door, there's no play. And you consider they're critical. You go to the theater, door's locked. Oh, the stage manager. Oh, I guess we didn't call him. You didn't call him? He's critical. This guy named Jerry. But he doesn't run the show. But at that moment, without him, there's millions of dollars lost. That's what's going on. So you have all of these levels. Trump is smarter than you will ever know. Let me explain something to you. If you want a real introduction into how things are, you try going into development, real estate development in New York. That's Manhattan. It's any place else. Do you deal with the mob? Yep. Are you a part of the mob? Nope. Do you deal with them? Mm-hmm. Do you have to understand how they work? Yep. Do you piss them off? Nope. You work around them? Yep. What about unions? Yep. What about politicians? Yep. What about agencies? Yep. Funding, banks? Yep. Yep. You work at levels you can't even imagine. I mean, And you've got to finagle it, and you never lose your cool, and you never lose focus. If Trump gets the nomination, step one. And I want you to stop for a second. Stop. Trump gets the nomination with 4 indictments. Trump gets the nomination with 4 indictments. 4. 4. Do you know what that is? 4. And by the way, you're going to say, but don't the people who now seem to want him in, aren't they the ones who made this indictment possible? Yeah, sort of. They're hard to understand. You see, it's almost like gut flora. There's good bacteria, bad bacteria, but when there's some kind of a lack of balance, all hell breaks loose. Trump gets a nomination. Now, this is the next one, too. I watched this interview again with Eric Clapton about Bobby Kennedy. See, Bobby Kennedy, we used to have an expression years ago when I was a young person. I just got out of college and I didn't know anything. Politics was boring to me. I remember one time where it was part of a U.S. senator's contingent, and they went to see this guy. There was somebody, and I went with these money folks, and I loved the money folks. The money folks were so interesting. Again, I was like 21 years old, but I got to hang around them. And we went to this office one time, and this one guy tells me, he says, "We're going to take him to the mountain." I said, "What does that mean?" He goes, "We're going to take him to the mountain. We're going to show him the future. We're going to get him on our side, and we're going to kind of plant the seed about where we want him to go politically, because he can run, but we have to give him the view of what he can expect. We have to show the future through his own eyes, through his own way of looking." Does that make sense to you? Okay, that's critical. How does that work? How does that work? Well, you do it. And this is very, very important. You do it by taking him to these places and making him recognize or see what's going on. And then you say, you know what, this can be yours. And you make it seem like it's his idea. You know what I mean? You make it seem like it's his idea, that it's his thing. You make it seem like this is what you want, right? Well, yeah, of course. This is what you want. Oh, well, yeah. So I would love to sit down with Bobby Kennedy. And I'm sure he's thought that. Bobby Kennedy, what do you see when you see Bobby Kennedy? What do you see? Tell me. What do you see? I'm serious. I want you to stop what you're thinking. Stop writing for a moment and think about this. We're having a master class here, okay? This is a master class. Please tell me, what do you see when you see Bobby Kennedy? What do you see? Because he's critical to this. Tell me, what do you see? Give me a word. Give me a word to explain Bobby Kennedy. Give me a word. Really think. No comedy from him, but think. Kennedy is a liberal. Wrong. Old-fashioned thinking. Liberal. No. What do you think? I call him a spoiler. Thank you. He'll believe it. So something. Okay, what do you think about this? Come on. Think about this. Think. Integrity? Okay, maybe, sort of. Don't ask his ex-wives that. He's a philanderer. He's a Kennedy. He's not. Integrity? Sometimes. Splitting up the left, and he's onto something. Peggy says, "You are wrong. I don't know about what, but okay, that'll do. It's your opinion. He is a Kennedy. Not anymore. He's not a Kennedy anymore. You're getting close. Think about this. You've never thought about this. Think about this. We're going to go in to meet with Bobby Kennedy, and I'm outside, or we're in the car, and I'm asking you, what do you think? What are you going to tell him? It's like hostage negotiation. He's a hostage, but he's our hostage. But in a way, how do you appeal to him? What do you tell him? Poison pill, anti-vaccine. And how many people think he's anti-vaccine? How many people somebody writes, "I would never vote for RFK." That's not what we're talking about. You see? And by the way, I don't want to be mean. You don't get it. That's not what this is about. See, you can tell the people who understand politics and the people who understand Fox News or social media. It's very personal. Put on the MAGA hat, put on the button. Yay! Good, bad, us, them. Good guys, bad guys. Manichean. That's what you believe in. This is the biggest mistake. This is wrestling. What are you talking about? Ivy League, 2 words. No. Missing the point. Missing the point. Opportunist. Everybody's an opportunist. Educated. No. Hard to be a purist. Not anti-vax. He's anti-experimental. Who cares? Don't worry about the vaccine. He's got to calm that down. Go deeper. Go to who the heart of this is. What was it that motivated Lyndon Johnson? Lyndon Johnson didn't want to lose because his father lost. The thing about Lyndon Johnson was that his father was made a fool of in politics, and he said, I can't lose. What was it that motivated Richard Nixon? It was the fact that he couldn't get to Harvard because he didn't have the money. And he hated the Kennedys. That's how you get them. It's us and them. You go for the core. Show me somebody. Show me any woman who was in a beauty pageant. You just locked it in. Thank you. They never grow out of that. Think about this. He sees he is going down the crapper. No. Victim. Wait a minute. Close. See, I love you wonderful people. You're not thinking. You're not thinking. You're just reacting. You're sitting with a chessboard and you're going like this. Why? Because this piece goes like this. Yeah, but you're not looking ahead. Well, I don't care. This is the way I play. I sit down and I move. So I can show you that this is a possibility. But that doesn't make any sense. Doesn't matter. I'm playing. I say things. I just react. This is what social media do to people. People don't think. They just react. They blurt. They retweet. Let me get down to this. Revenge is, now we're getting somewhere. What does everybody want? Everybody wants to be respected. Everything comes down to who you are. Everybody comes down to who you are. There's a special on, what is it, CNN about models? What is it, models or Apple TV on models? One of the remember the supermodels when they were Christy Turlington and blah, blah, blah. Fascinating. And of course, you're not going to say that. You're going to say, oh, that's stupid because modeling is stupid. That's not the point. What did they all say? Some of them are 40s, 50s, getting close. They all look back at the way they were abused. They look back at how innocent they were. They look back and they realize, what were we thinking? And they all say the same thing. We were abused. We were treated like cattle. We were into drugs. I started smoking to lose weight. It's all the same stuff. Okay, Bobby Kennedy. You know what haunts Bobby Kennedy? Your father. He always talks about President Kennedy. That's Uncle Jack. He talks about President Kennedy. And what I always think is so interesting is Bobby Kennedy has this incredible sense of smooth. He never gets upset. He never makes mistakes. Never. He is not politically savvy. He doesn't understand it. He has always been the rogue, the kind of, appreciated at first, the environmentalist. But the bottom line is simply this. The people who took your father and your uncle are the Democrats. Not these people now, but Mac Wallace, LBJ, this thing, number one. Number two, you've got to be your own man, a man's man. You've got to stand up for what's right. And if you want to get these people back, you've got to understand something. They have no use for you. You've spent so much time meticulously pursuing something which you thought was important. You looked at these, whether you're right or wrong about vaccines, but his sincerity, he thought he's doing the right thing. I don't know if he has just a monetary. They told him, I don't think he knew the flack he would get. The vax flack. He would, back. I don't think he understood it, but he did. Okay, fine. Then they got real personal. God knows the threats. God knows what this did. And once the pylon starts, especially in this age of social media, you're through. So that's the thing which is the most important. He came along and the way for him to make a move, the way for him to actually stand up for the ideals, because remember, your father, the man your father was, man, he never knew his father. He was a kid. And your uncle, what took them out? These people. They stood up for something. Sirhan didn't have anything to do. It's not about Palestinian. That's not it. What are you talking about? I'd never talk with Sirhan. But if ever there was a situation that really needs a case that is so replete with facts that just are, it's the RFK case. And for some reason, it just doesn't rise to that level. I don't know why, because you don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. But now's your chance. Your family's turned on you. Go independent. And you're going to say, but Trump's going to win. So what? So what? He's in the same position you are. He is your blood brother. Trump is your blood brother. Trump is the one who honestly, okay, look, everybody's got their own degree of their own degree of swell-headedness. And I understand that. That's groovy. I'm fine. But Trump was a guy who said, I'm going to run for office. And they said, no, you're not. He goes, yes, I am. Well, no, you're not. You didn't clear it with us. You're not one of us. See, that's one thing about Trump. He's not one of you. He may live in a gilded, whatever. Trump. He may have this. He may have the planes. And he's always wanted to be like that. But he really isn't. He's like one of you. He's not snooty. He's not of their rank. He's as close to, he's like us, but whatever. And he played the role, and he plays people perfectly. But the bottom line was this. They told him, you didn't get our permission. And he said, screw you. And there's something about Trump, and this is where you do. Remember this little trick I'm telling you. Always compliment people for what you want them to do. I used to always tell my mother, you know what's so great about you? You have such an open mind. What did you do? I didn't do anything. But you see both sides. Well, thank you. Oh, by the way, I got in trouble. No, I didn't really get in trouble. But the point is, you want to tell Bobby Kennedy, what makes Trump great is what makes you great. You're fearless. You are focused and you are propelled by one thing, what you think is right. Believe me, Donald Trump sat back and was told, don't run. You're at the end of your trajectory, the end of your arc. You can be far more powerful being in the back, funding people. No. Don't do this. But he said, no. I'm going to tell you something. And I'm going to take it for what I'm worth. Not for what I'm worth. Take it for what it's worth. There is something about the Trump makeup where he is this uber, old-fashioned patriot guy, loves cops, loves the military, loves the flag, loves veterans, loves the trappings of the white hats, the good guys. Believe me when I'm telling you this. Believe me. He is, it's this thing. And Bobby, that's you. You believe in defending people, children, the environment, water, rivers. He did some great stuff with glyphosate. That's who you are. You were always the smartest one of the Kennedys. You were the smartest one. You were the one that people said, this guy cares. Didn't have to do this. Most of the Kennedys did nothing. Oh, Rory would make a documentary. She was a paid stooge for the Democratic left. Caroline didn't do anything. If ever you get to see Caroline Kennedy, box of rocks. You should, when she ran for Senate, dear God, I wanted to yell, somebody stop this. Please, it's like watching a fight. And the guy, you're killing him. Stop this. And the way they're pushing this Schlossberg, he's standing around next to his mother, trying to look like John. Come on. Do you have no shame? These are the biggest phonies of them all. Okay? But Bobby Kennedy was different. This was different. And let me tell you something, Bobby. You go independent. You throw this election. And I guarantee you, we can go to some big money people and say, we'll take care of your security. Don't worry about that. Shame the government. Shame them. By the way, do you really want Secret Service? Your family had Secret Service. Remember that one scene with JFK where the one Secret Service agent was called off? And he said, what? Remember the front of they put JFK at the front. You don't put him in the front. You put him in the middle. Anyway, you want the Secret Service? You want your own Praetorian Guard. You want ninjas. That's what you need to do. You will go down in history and they will hate you, but they only hate the great. So what have I done? I elevate. And it's true. It's true. I'll bet you Bobby and Trump have spoken more times than you could ever imagine. Always maintaining the facade, always maintaining this. Bobby's always going to say, well, I don't vote for him. Okay, fine. Okay, whatever. And you know what? The people who run the show, the shadow government, they don't care. They don't care one way or another. So you think about this. Think about what's going on. Pay attention to politics. Pay attention. Take away. Stop listening to Fox News. Stop. I love the fact that there were so many wonderful people out there. Whatever you like, whatever people. I see the January 6th people, okay, as the biggest bunch of idiots I've ever seen in my life. You fell for this. This is the way you. When people walk around with flags, Gadsden flags, don't tread on me. 1776. You don't know what this is. This is a big game to you. You are a child. And you did more harm to the cause than anything you can imagine. That's not to say you weren't mistreated. That's not to say this was an overkill. That's not to say this was draconian and unconstitutional. But those people do more to hurt us than anything else. And every time you hear about somebody who talks about directed energy weapons or whatever, you know what? It may be great for some of the recesses of Rumble. That's fine, but it hurts us. It hurts us. Okay? It really, really hurts us. Just like there are people on the proverbial right who, AOC hurts. Biden hurts. And let me tell you something, one more thing in conclusion. Something's happening. They're ready. They're going to toss this guy so fast. But the question is, who is it? Don't be surprised if Kamala Harris is the president for a while. 25th Amendment. Don't be surprised. Don't be, not next term, but just for a while. Put your money on Gavin Newsom. As always, Gretchen Whitmer. This is a serious contingent, but don't think for a moment that remember, the people who run the show are not Americans. They don't care about America. I mean, they're not American. They're going to be from here. They don't care about this. They're into the power play. They're into all. They love this stuff. They love to be the big money people like Bill Ackman. You know, the billionaire guy, the hedge funder. He loves being. I'm in the billions, and I'm Pythonic. I'm Vatic. Understand. They're at another level. But what Trump's doing on the back end, this is the best thing possible. This is great news. Pray this continues. Now, when we get done, you can go back to whatever you were doing, see your regular thing, retweet here. make fun of McCarthy or tune into Ted Cruz, and maybe you can send me more videos of somebody saying something. Doesn't matter. It's okay. It's interesting. The elections that matter. And the biggest one is, are they going to interfere? Is the shadow government going to let this thing go through, or are they going to steal this fair and square? If they want to do it, that's it. And by the way, a friend of mine texted, real lefty, texted me yesterday. He said, "This is terrible at border. I don't know what to do." And I texted back and said, "Simple, 4 more years of Biden." He said, "Oh, I see what you mean." I said, "Yep. Remember this. You ask all your friends very nicely. Don't take off your MAGA hat. Just calm down and ask them a question. Do you want 4 more years of this? Same policy, but different people. Do you? And don't tell them what you want. Ask questions. Do you want this? Do you like our immigration policy? Do you like our crime policy? Don't tell them what you think. Ask them. Let them speak. It's like when you pick a jury. Let them speak. You could do more to spread the cause than by telling them. Just ask them. They'll tell you. They're very smart. Okay, 2 things, my friends. Number 1, you know what I'm going to talk about. Your 3-month emergency food kit order is standing by. $200 you can save. Go right now to preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. Ready for you. I've spoken about this. If you don't understand the benefit of having emergency food, I don't know what to tell you. And also our great friends at MyPillow. MyPillow.com. Promo code Lionel. Get a free gift and enjoy the seemingly endless products that are available for you from our great friend Mike Lindell. All right, dear friends, thank you so much. Listen, do me a favor. We need you. We need your mind. We need your maturity. We have a lot of bad habits to get rid of, and we can do this collectively. We have to retool, restyle. This is a different story. Trump's got to win this thing. That's it. He's not perfect. He's sometimes an idiot. I understand it, but he's our idiot. He is chemotherapy. He is that radiation. He is that radical surgery that we need. Without him, it's more of this. That's it. And we can't do it. I can't take 4 more years. I can't. And at the very top, you know how they say the fish rots from the head down? Sometimes when the head works, things on the way down kind of improve. I know there's an analogy there somewhere. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. See you tonight at 7 p.m. And don't forget, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Try it again.